Welcome to the Art of Taping Drywall. My name is Laurier Desormeaux. What we're covering today is proper procedures for installing drywall to reduce the amount of joints that need to be plastered up. Now this is extremely important because you'll get a good price from a drywall taper if it's plastered up properly. I'll show you what I mean. Here's one wall in this bathroom. This wall has a butt joint, a butt joint, a butt joint, a butt joint. No factory joints at all. There's as many joints on this wall as the whole bathroom itself should actually have. Should be one factory joint going across the center at the 4-foot mark, and that's it. A factory joint only gets 3 coats. All these butt joints will get 4 coats. You look up at this ceiling. There was a joint placed in the middle of this ceiling. 2 small pieces. It's less than 4 feet from the door to this corner bead. There should be 0 joints in that ceiling. The bulkhead at the end here is the same way. You don't have to look at it, you won't see it from this side, but they put a joint in the middle of this bulkhead. Not necessary at all. Now we switch to this wall. There's a butt joint here, a double joint here, double joint here. It's 8 feet tall. 1 sheet going across leaves 1 factory joint going across here. 1 sheet across the bottom was done properly. It should have been lifted into place with the top sheet, no extra joints in it. That costs people more money to have a drywall taper tape it up. Here's an example on the back wall. There's a joint going across this back wall. It's less than 4 feet wide and 8 feet tall. There should be no joints in that back wall. There's even a joint here on this wall. It's less than 4 feet wide. There should be 0 joints on that wall. The ceiling is the same way. 1 piece goes across, 2 little factory joints would finish the ceiling. No, there are 3 butt joints in that ceiling. Now, if we back up a little bit, I'll take a look at this hallway. So you come over here and I'll show you this hallway. Take a look at this sheet right here. There's a joint here. If you stand up a sheet, there's 0 joints there. This one here is the same way. There's even a double joint there. Should be 0 joints to plaster on that wall. Behind me is the same way. This is less than 4 feet wide. They have a joint here. If you stand up a sheet, 0 joints to do there. Same with this wall. It's less than 4 feet. If you stand up a sheet, it would be 0 joints to do on that wall. So these are all things that make it cost more money for somebody to hire a drywall taper or even to do it yourself. You've made the job twice as hard for yourself. Reduce the amount of joints that you have in your drywall. You reduce the mud work, you make your job go quicker, more efficient, and less cost to the client. We're going to come into this bedroom, we're going to take a peek in here too. We might as well, it's well lit up. So, we come in here. I've taped the drywall joint going across here. This is less than 4 feet wide, it's less than 8 feet tall. I shouldn't have had to tape that joint at all. Same with this back wall. A piece standing, going right to the corners, there'd be 0 joints to plaster in this back wall. That joint had to be taped, it'll have to be second coated, finish coated, and actually sanded because that joint was placed in that wall. Now, here's not much we can do. It was taller than 4 feet, they filled it in with a piece of drywall. I need to plaster from here to here in order to get the joint and the corner bead done. That's okay, that's the way it goes. But if we come around to the closet here, 2 joints here that shouldn't be there, that's extra plaster work. Back wall to the closet, double joint. When you only have this much drywall left over to fill in, that should have been placed at the bottom where the baseboard covers it. It would be 1 factory joint here instead of a double butt joint there. Top sheet should have been done in 1 piece. There it is, a drywall joint right up here. So there's a butt joint that I'm going to be coating 4 times, but 3 times plus sanding, in order to get that smoothed out where it shouldn't exist whatsoever. The ceiling in this closet has a joint in it. There's absolutely no reason for that at all. There is 3 trips or 4 trips with the sanding in order to plaster that to smooth when there should be none at all. So this job has doubled the amount of mud needed to do it. It has doubled the amount of time that even a professional takes to plaster it up. Between the bathroom in this bedroom and the hallway out there, I will have done the same amount of hours in these 2 rooms in the hallway as I did with the upstairs that was professionally installed. The same amount of hours, half the work. So think about this when you're doing your drywall joints and installing your drywall. Think about this when you're doing your work. Less joints, less cost to the client, or less headaches for you if you use my drywall procedures, my mud procedures, and all the steps I have on my website or in my YouTube channel. If you follow the instructions for the plaster work, you can do your own work, but if you're going to make yourself extra joints everywhere, you're going to find it very frustrating, and you're going to find that it takes you much longer than what is necessary. So that's it for a rant for me on this particular project, because I found it more challenging. You don't need to do this to yourself. You don't need to do this to a drywall taper you're going to hire. You get an excellent price if you do an excellent job. Okay, Laurier Desormeaux signing off. We do the best we can. I will make it look pretty, even though I have a pile of work to do, double than what I should have. But it will look nice when I'm done. Laurier signing off.